Okay, I just got back from spending a week in Goodyear. The Indians are opening the regular season this week. You know, there's the ball, first one thrown out. A couple things that came into mind just watching the Tribe in Goodyear. Number one is that the main things the Indians were concerned about came out okay or better than okay. Number one was, is Jason Kipnis healthy? The answer is yes, he is. Number two, how's Michael Brantley doing? In fact, the Indians probably could have activated him by opening day. They decided to go a little slower just because I think they felt last year they activated on opening day and it maybe rushed him a bit. But in terms of the progress he was making, Brantley looked pretty good. And I say that with guarded optimism, knowing this is the third straight spring. I probably stood here and said, you know, Brantley looked good in spring training, and he did. And the first year, back in 2016, he barely played at all. Last year, he only played half a season, made the All-Star team. Then after that, he had the big ankle problem with surgery. So again, I'm guarded, but still, you'd rather see that. Third thing, Yonder Alonso. This is a guy who had 28 homers last year, and before that, he's 30 years old, his 28 homers. Before that, he never hit more than 9 in a year. Was the power a fluke? Well, he hit 4 home runs when I'm down there. I know it's Arizona, the ball carries, all this kind of stuff, but you're looking at, does this guy have the kind of swing that generates power? And does he look like a power hitter? And the answer is yes, he does. And by the way, those 28 homers he hit in Seattle and Oakland, those are those 2 home parks that he played with last year, some of the hardest parks to hit home runs. So it wasn't like he suddenly went to Colorado where the ball just flies out of the ballpark and hit a bunch of homers. So Alonso looked good. Kipnis looked healthy. Francisco Lindor just made some sensational plays in the field. And you know what, this kid, and he's still growing into a young man, and physically he's getting stronger. You know, Jose Ramirez was strutting around looking like Jose Ramirez, and so that all was good. All right, outfield, hopefully Brantley in left field. If not, they have Rajai Davis, who looked like the same Rajai Davis from 2016. Center field, a bit of a concern here. Now, Bradley looked tremendous in the outfield. It's hard to play the outfield in Arizona because the sky is almost sheer blue. When the ball is in the air, and I found this out a long time ago, just when we used to kind of hit fly balls and do things back when in my younger days in spring training, it looks like a little black dot coming down. It's really hard to track because you actually like a little cloud cover or whatever. Furthermore, you're in the desert, it's windy. Point being, Bradley Zimmer looked terrific in center field. At the plate, as they say, there's some issues there. He's got a big swing, he's got some power, but he's got a whole there's a lot of Swiss cheese in that swing. There's a lot of holes. So I'll have to wait to see. Lonnie Chisenhall looks like he could hit, but can Lonnie stay healthy? On the disabled list 4 times in the last 2 years. We'll have to wait and see. Corey Kluber looked terrific. That's why was another thing I was looking at. You know, he did have a back problem last year, no matter what they say. And finally, I had some people on the team tell me that in the playoffs, yes, Kluber's back was bothering him. You know, don't tell me, don't say I told you, but I'm telling you that was the deal. And he looked terrific. You know, Trevor Bauer looked excellent. You go down, Josh Tomlin looked like Josh Tomlin. Carrasco looked pretty good. You know, overall, look, they have, I would argue, either the first or second best rotation in all of baseball. The big analytics sites, Fangraphs, said it's number 2. They have the Astros as number 1. Fine, number 1, number 2. I'll take that starting rotation. I'll take a bullpen that has Andrew Miller and Cody Allen at the back end of it. I feel pretty good. Here's one last thing about the Indians that's kind of fun is nobody much in the media is paying any attention to them. Andrew Miller made an interesting point. He said, you know, in 2016, he said we, meaning the Indians that he joined at midseason, we played really well as the underdog. He said that's kind of where they are now because the Yankees are getting all the hype with Stanton signing, trading for Stanton, and just being the Yankees. The Astros are the defending World Series champions, and they added Garrett Cole. I mean, these teams are really good. But so are the Indians. And so in other words, as the season's getting ready to open, I look at things and say, guess what? They're in really good shape.